tonight.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Harrison Township. We want to give you a live look right now. You can see the sheriff's deputies are right now on the scene of North Dixie of a possible shooting. That is the Speedway gas station. It was taped off just moments ago. Deputies just recently and within the past few minutes actually took that tape down. We do know an SUV was towed from that scene. Now, we were able to confirm with dispatch that shooting happened just before 9 o'clock tonight, and we do have a crew who is there. We're working to learn more information. As soon as we get it, we will update you on air and online. Well, this Labor Day holiday weekend wasn't just about celebrations to wrap up the summer. Recovery Plus hosted an event today in Fairborn, working to end addiction and get resources into people's hands. The annual Labor Day recovery event was a chance for people in active recovery to connect with others battling the disease. Jenna Lee Bork now live outside Recovery Plus. And Jenna Lee, you were at that event just hours ago. So can you describe what was going on?
Yeah, Elise, this was the 10th year that Recovery Plus put on this event to connect people who are struggling with addiction or even mental health issues with helpful resources. It's also a way for people who are in recovery or who have been in recovery before to connect and share their stories. I spoke with Daniel Rubio, who's been struggling with addiction for a decade, about why the support and events like this are needed.
I believe recovery is not just putting down drugs, it's a lifestyle, it's a way you conduct yourself, and all this love out here, it's really infectious.
Recovery Plus helps people who struggle with substance abuse, mental health issues, or who are experiencing homelessness. This Labor Day was the organization's 10th year hosting an event that connects people with resources while also supporting people in active recovery or living a life of sobriety. Recovery Plus president and treasurer say people need to know help is out there.
The biggest thing is showing that recovery works, that people do recover, and recovery is possible for anybody.
It feels amazing because we get to see a lot of people come into our center looking for help, get the help, then come back, and they're a whole different changed person.
There was live music, food, and games for people to enjoy. Vendors were there to showcase their resources and educate people. I spoke with the executive director of Xenia's Bridges of Hope, a faith-based homeless shelter, who says this gathering of area resources is priceless.
A lot of times we get people who come in, they're in crisis, and so being able to understand who we can send them to and who best fits is a blessing for us and very crucial.
The event is also an outlet for those in recovery or who have been successful staying sober to share their stories. I spoke to Daniel Rubio, who's currently in a program and has been battling addiction for a decade, about how challenging this fight is.
Through my recovery, I've learned that I'm not the only one suffering like this. It is a back and forth battle.
Another man I spoke with spent nearly 16 years in prison and is almost finished with a different program. James Henry says if someone is in a similar situation, stay persistent because help is out there to change your life.
The good thing about the area that I live in, they don't judge you on your past, and they gave me a second chance, and I've been thriving at it.
More from Recovery Plus tells me the event continues to grow every year with more partners attending. To find out more about the work Recovery Plus does or how you can get involved, you can visit our website, Dayton247now.com. Back to you in studio.
A police chase starting in Huber Heights ended with no suspect arrested. Officers responded to reports of an attempted car theft early Saturday on Honeygate Drive. Police say those suspects pointed a firearm when confronted by residents before driving off. Officers were able to locate that car, which then led to a chase involving several agencies through Fairborn, Beaver Creek, and even Kettering. Police say that suspect drove through multiple red lights, putting the public in danger as well. Now, the chase was eventually called off near Woodman Drive. Tonight, Dayton Public Schools holding a vigil over the weekend to honor the life and legacy of one of their young students. This little girl here, 12-year-old Isabella Amor Carlos, was shot and killed while she slept in her bed early Friday on August 23rd on West Fairview Avenue. She was in seventh grade and a longtime student at Charity Adams Early Girls Academy. So then on Friday, students and staff shared memories and even poems about how much Isabella, who was known to them as Izzy, meant to them. DPS Superintendent Dr. David Lawrence and Mayor Jeffrey Mims were in attendance. The district saying in part, quote, Isabella will be greatly missed, but Charity Adams staff and students will remember her bright smile, kind and happy demeanor, and willingness to always help her fellow classmates. DPS says it will continue to provide support to any students who need it.
Well, quiet and also cool weather across the Miami Valley for today, making it into the 70s, upper 70s earlier. Now we're hanging out in the 60s and now some 50s across the board. 55 Bell Fountain, 54 in Wapakoneta. We got 60 in Dayton, 59 in Eaton. So it is a very cool evening compared to where we were this time yesterday. We are sitting much cooler as well. 11 degrees cooler in Dayton, 11 degrees cooler in Wapakoneta. So kids heading to the bus stop tomorrow morning may need a light sweater or a jacket in the morning, but not by the afternoon because we actually get up to 80 by later into the day. I'll talk about a brief warm up and another cool down on the way coming up here in just a bit.
Of course, it was a beautiful day outside, especially for the thousands of people that came out to Kettering's annual Holiday at Home Festival. The weekend-long event wrapped up with an iconic parade. Community members lined the streets to see local groups, high school bands, car clubs, honored veterans, and other family fun.
I really love seeing everybody come together, you know?
This is the biggest turnout that we've ever seen here, and it's just been amazing. The weather's been beautiful, the people have been wonderful to work with and talk to, and so we really enjoyed our time here.
The festival has brought Ohioans together since 1959 over Labor Day weekend, and it'll return again for the next year's holiday. Well, now to some really exciting news tonight. Grace Norman, para-athlete who ran track and field for Cedarville University, has won yet another gold medal. She came in first place in the women's para-triathlon in Paris and is now part of the most successful para-triathlon team in history. Kasha Hancock caught up with Norman's track and field coach from Cedarville University tonight. She joins us now live in studio. So Kasha, what did he tell you about her?
Elise, Norman's coach, Jeff Bolender, says Grace is a young woman who works hard at everything she does, adding she definitely deserves this second gold medal.
She was a collegiate athlete for me. And then I've worked kind of as a coach advisor ever since she graduated.
Jeff Bolender coached Grace Norman while she was a student at Cedarville University, saying her determination and commitment was hard not to recognize.
I was just super happy for her. She dealt with a lot of adversity here about the last 3 months, you know, things that athletes have to overcome, and she did, you know, just an incredible job of staying focused and staying, you know, motivated.
Norman was born with amniotic band syndrome, which resulted in her losing her left foot. But that did not stop her. This is not Norman's first gold medal. She also earned a gold medal at the Paralympic Games in 2016 in Brazil, where she also received a bronze and a silver in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo in 2020.
And she's, you know, tremendously talented, but she's also tremendously mentally tough and focused and driven. So she's got all the things that you need to be successful.
Bolender tells us that Norman's faith in God is something that really helped her in her training and performance. He wasn't able to watch her compete this time around, but was able to speak with her and offer this encouragement.
Trust the training that she's done. She's got the experience. She's got the years and years of training. She's a veteran competitor, and just to stay hopeful and, you know, just kind of trust God for the process.
Bolender also has some advice for young athletes who are hoping to be just as successful.
Timing has to be right. You know, you have to stay healthy. You have to have the right mental perspective, being able to handle the ups and downs and the adversity and being able to have the confidence.
Bolender also says he knows Grace is looking forward to accomplishing so much more in the future because of her motivation, and he can't wait to see it all happen. Back to you.
Well, Sheetz is set to officially open its first ever location in Centerville tomorrow. The store will be located on Miamisburg Centerville Road. The grand opening festivities kick off at 9 a.m. with multiple giveaways, including a grand prize of free sheets for a year. The convenience chain will also offer free self-serve coffee and soda for the entire day. Sheetz plans to donate $2,500 to the food bank as part of the grand opening celebration. A local community still recovering 6 months after a deadly EF3 tornado tore through the area. How one business is now making a remarkable comeback.
Plus, I'm tracking a pretty quiet week of weather ahead. I'll let you know when our next chance for rain is. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Sports Desk is
Tonight, it's been nearly 6 months since a deadly EF3 tornado devastated Indian Lake. Homes, businesses, and livelihoods were destroyed, many still putting the pieces back together tonight. Mike McCarthy spoke to the community members to find out how recovery has been going.
That we got to do everything we can to help the local businesses, whether it's shopping local or eating local.
I didn't think we were ever going to be able to reopen.
Bethany South rode out the tornado at the bar where she's mixing drinks. Her La Plaza Azul restaurant has a new roof and more. She's kept her 15 employees and says customers have kept coming back since the restaurant reopened a couple weeks ago. Thanks to
blood, sweat, and tears. It's been a lot. I went from not knowing if we were even going to survive the night to rebuilding our home. This is our home.
Just down the street, the depot was among the first to reopen in April.
So how big of a change is it today in here compared to what it was like after the storm roughly 6 months ago?
Well, we have lights, so that's pretty huge.
Owner Brenda Smoots feels fortunate people have escaped to the lake and her shop.
an area that we still have to be sensitive to is we still have a lot of folks that are not open. We still have a lot of folks that are not back at home. So we don't want to forget about any of those folks either.
A reminder, even on a picture-perfect day, rough waters haven't subsided.
Well, thankfully, a pretty quiet week of weather here across the Miami Valley, at least until Friday. Then we have some rain that makes its way back in. But wanted to share this beautiful sunset. It's the second day of September, and it was a really nice one. Beautiful sunset to end the day with those pretty colors in the sky. I love how it kind of shifts, and you could actually see that purple or pinkish ray of light shining through, which was just a really nice sight to see. But you probably noticed that the sun set even earlier today, and September, big changes ahead. In fact, 2.5 minutes of daylight on average lost per day. By the end of the month, we're expected to lose over an hour. In fact, an hour and 14 minutes of daylight by the end of this month. Now, quiet weather across the area, high pressure in place. I'll talk about the rest of the week coming up here in just a little bit.
Well, it's now one of the busiest times for travel, and right now more than 10,000 hotel workers across the U.S. are on strike. They're demanding higher pay and better working conditions. The strike impacts Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt hotels in major cities like Boston and Seattle. The Hotel Workers Union says the strike could soon spread to more cities.
It is very impressive to see everybody come together to fight for what they need. Anybody who serves you food, to cleans your rooms, to cleans your dishes, parks your car, opens your door.
The hotels will reportedly remain open, but some may not be able to provide the full services due to a smaller staff. And a labor court rules the strike happening in Israel has to stop after the government put forth a petition against it. Israel's biggest trade union called for a general strike with the goal of shutting down or even disrupting major parts of the economy, like the country's main airport in Tel Aviv. Now, the strike is a response to the 6 hostages recently found dead in Gaza. Families of Israeli hostages are urging leaders to step up and take more significant actions to secure the release of remaining hostages.
But as an American, I'm looking to strong leadership around the world. I'm looking to Biden. I'm looking to all the countries that are sitting at the table to be bigger leaders than they have been in the last 11 months. All of them. This is something that they can make happen.
White House National Security Advisor, I should say, Jake Sullivan met virtually with the families of Americans being held hostage, and he says, quote, the next few days will be critical in the push to free the remaining hostages. President Biden says negotiators are close and suggested Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu needs to do more on the issue. And giving you a live look now from the Beaver Creek area from our Eco Plumber Skycam. Let's send it out to Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters.
Well, it feels so nice out here on our Watson's weather patio. Nice, a little bit of a cool breeze by the end of this evening and early tomorrow morning. Likely going to need a jacket. Feeling like fall, that's for sure. And it is meteorological fall, which does include the months of September, October, and November. By the end of meteorological fall, our average high temperature falls from 83 today by the end of the month to 73, and by the end of the season to 47. So our days are getting shorter. Our average temperature is continuing to fall as well. But as far as our temperatures across the Miami Valley, we actually have a warm up on the way, mid-80s Wednesday, Thursday. But by the weekend, another blast of some cooler air with our highs back in the lower 70s. I'll take a look at that in the 7-day coming up here in just a bit.
Local organizers stepping up to address the growing suicide crisis, the recent pandemic's impact on mental health, and the available resources here in our community. And a federal judge has blocked an Ohio law changing contributions to state ballot campaigns. Why the judge says it violates the First Amendment and how it's related to the definition of a foreign national. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Take Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Whatever you're going through, you don't have to go through it alone. The month of September is Suicide Prevention Month, so Eli Burgett spoke to local organizations and explains the services and help they can provide.
Well, the most important thing about this month is to raise awareness for the common causes of suicidal thoughts and available resources for those in need. I spoke to Montgomery County Adamus and the Dayton VA to find out how they are helping those in crisis.
Post-pandemic, we're still seeing a rise in our death by suicide numbers. So we know people are still hurting, even though a lot of people are back to work, kids are back to school. That lingering anxiety and depression and loneliness that we all felt during the pandemic, it's still here with us.
Even though suicide prevention is a pressing issue year-round, September is the month that medical professionals and organizations really promote the resources available to those in crisis. The Montgomery County Adamus Board offers a variety of services for people who are struggling with mental health and thoughts of suicide. And the Dayton VA will be hosting a suicide prevention event on September 14th, featuring a movie screening and a car show, as well as promoting their Veterans Crisis line all throughout the month. The message from these organizations is the same. You are not alone, and there are resources to help. I've posted some of the resources, plus more information about future suicide prevention events on our website, Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
And of course, if you or someone you know is in need of immediate assistance with having suicidal thoughts, you can call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Call or text or even chat by dialing 988 or going to 988lifeline.org. Over the weekend, a federal judge blocked a state law banning foreign nationals and green card holders from contributing to Ohio ballot campaigns. The judge cited the First Amendment and is now barring violations of Ohio law based on the definition of a foreign national. Governor Mike DeWine signed the law back in June, and it was set to take effect yesterday. Now, a law firm sued, saying non-citizens would be threatened with prosecution if they even indicate they intend to take part in any election-related spending. The judge said the speech of lawful resident foreign nationals is constitutionally protected, as is the right of U.S. citizens to hear those foreign nationals' political speech. Ohio State coming off the first game of the season with a win. We're going to hear from head coach Ryan Day as the Buckeyes get ready to take on the Broncos. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Need a new roof, siding?